Welcome back, everyone, to the Stogie Geeks Show. We're going to round out our Stogies of the Week segment, which is brought to you by J. Grotto Cigars, including the Connecticut Shade Silk and the limited edition J. Grotto Reserva lines. Visit them on the web at oceanstatecigars.com for a full list of retailers near you. And by Southern Cigar Festival, a world-class cigar event coming to Atlanta, Georgia. On Saturday, June 6th from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., the Verizon Amphitheater at Encore Park will be filled with smoke and home to the largest cigar event ever in the state of Georgia. Guests will receive premium cigars from 35 cigar manufacturers hailing from 9 different countries. There will be personal guest appearances from many of the big-name cigar makers and industry personalities. In addition, the Southern Cigar Festival will feature prizes, raffles, live music, and plenty of food and drink. Be sure to check out limited VIP tickets and even more limited private VIP box packages, which include early access to the event and plenty of additional amenities. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster and on the event website at southerncigarfestival.com. Tickets are going fast, so get yours today. Welcome back, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. Just a note about the Southern Cigar Festival. They're offering a free cigar if you go to Cutter Cigar Emporium in Alpharetta, Georgia. Did I say that right? Alpharetta, Georgia. If you purchase your ticket at the shop. So look at that. You get to buy a ticket, get a free cigar.
And you save the fees for, they're very good. You save those Ticketmaster fees.
That's right.
As well. Yeah, and I heard there's only 15 VIP tickets left.
Wow.
So they
now, is that the regular VIP or the premium VIP?
That's the regular VIP.
Okay. The premium, you got to, like, know someone, right? Like Rhode Island, you got to know someone?
Yeah, I guess you got to know, I guess you contact them directly, and they'll set you up with one of the boxes there. And
nice.
There's some stuff on Cigar Coop where we talk about the boxes. There's a video where they show these boxes. It's really cool. And I'm going to be down there for the event, so I'm really looking forward to this.
Absolutely. All right, so where were we, Will? I smoked another Tatuaje I haven't smoked in some time. In fact, it's kind of interesting. We're not big on 60 ring, right? But I've always been big into Tatuaje for quite some time when I first got really into smoking cigars. Stogie Santa was a big influence in having me try everything in the Tatuaje line. And I wanted to try everything, even if he was like, well, you should really stick with the Nueva Reserva and stick with the, some of the other things. I'm like, no, dude, I want to try everything. He's like, oh, everything is good. He's like, I can't get into the 60 rings. I'm like, I'm willing to try it. And I remember smoking the cigar on my deck several years ago and thinking, yeah, this is good. And that's, of course, the Tatuaje Granto. So I picked one up and smoked it recently. I think the cigar is good for a 60 ring. I don't know that it breaks into my top 3 60 rings that I've ever smoked. However, it's good. I can see myself smoking one of these, kind of on the boat or, just kind of piddling around, maybe while I'm grilling kind of thing. I think it's a $5. I think it's worth keeping 5 of these around. I got these at the, good price. So I think if you're going to buy these, buy them at a good price when they go on sale. It's got some great smooth flavors, nothing to write home about. It's got the closed foot, so it gives you that nice flavor from the wrapper when you light it up from that closed foot. And then as it starts to go into the filler, it's tough to distinguish those wonderful wrapper flavors. And is this a Mexican San Andreas wrapper, Will?
No, it's Habano.
It is Habano, okay.
Yeah.
It's a great wrapper. It's got great flavor. I'd almost wish we could get this wrapper on something a little smaller ring gauge.
With that blend.
With that same blend, yeah, because the blend is good. I just think, this size... I mean, the size works. Don't get me wrong. It's a good cigar. I think it could present some different dimensions in flavor profiles and some different sizes that might appeal to a wider range of smokers.
That cigar, when it came out, kicked my ass. It was a very strong cigar. But when you age those things, they will mellow considerably.
It was interesting. It wasn't an ass kicker of a cigar. It's funny you say that.
Yeah, but I've had a lot of discussions with people who love that cigar, and we've had this conversation. They were ass kickers if you get them and they're newer, but when they're sitting in your humidor a while, they will mellow, and I think they do lose something when they mellow.
Yep, absolutely. Back to you, Will.
I'm going back to Avo, and I know we teased about an Avo 2015, but actually before that, I'm going to talk about another Avo. And it's from the Avo Greatest Hits Sampler. And it's a cigar called the Avo Legacy. It's the limited edition from 2004. So this, I had never smoked this blend beforehand, and I actually now have a few of these samplers because I actually love this sampler so much. I bought another. I bought two more. One I'm just tucked away, and the other one, so I've smoked through a couple of these. It's an interesting Bellicoso, and it's hard to. And it's in my Stogie feed, but I don't really have it. It's got a flat tip. It's got a flat tip on that Bellicoso.
Yeah, it's a nice little cigar. These burn really good, actually. That's one thing I remember. They burn fantastic.
They really do.
They burn quick. You got to smoke it slow.
Yes, and I noticed that too. And the wrapper is a little delicate.
Yes.
So the first one I smoked, I blistered that wrapper a couple of times. Lucky I was able kind of to, didn't really have any more adverse effect. It just kind of looked a little ugly, but it is a sensitive wrapper. But the interesting thing about that cigar, there's a secondary band on that cigar, and it says on it Legacy. Now, when those came out, they were in a 12-count box that was packaged with a music CD from Avo called Legacy was the name of the CD, and it had 12 songs on it. And what they did in the box is each cigar had a different secondary band correlating to one of the songs on that CD.
You know, now that you say that, Will, I bought one of these at the Humidor. We had Jana on the show. It's in a local shop here in Rhode Island. And now that I think of it, that secondary band had a number on it.
It had, yeah, because it was probably one of the songs or something that was on there with a number. But yeah, so this one, what they did in the package, they just actually one of the song titles on that CD is Legacy. So they just went with that, which is the 10th track on there. So that's the one I'd say of all the in the sampler. That's the one that's gonna be a little different because there were different secondary bands on that, which was kind of a unique thing. I actually, as far as the cigar goes, I really enjoyed that cigar quite a bit.
Yeah, these are fresher. I found them to be better than when they were significantly aged.
Yeah, I mean, it was. It had some great flavor. It had that Avo Davidoff herbal note to it. That had a little bit of sweetness to it, which I just really liked. I actually got a little bit of a creamy note, almost like a malt note. It was very interesting, but it was smooth. It was a very smooth cigar. I was a little surprised in the second half. The spices really kicked up a little more in the second half, but the thing burned, and I kind of, when I reviewed this on Cigar Coop this past week, I talked about, I nubbed that thing down to my finger. I should have took a picture of it. I mean, it burned that well on that thing. It wasn't like a perfectly even, but it was actually it was very close. The ash held firm, but that thing was like nice. That nub was just, like I said, I was able to just roach clip it, whatever you want to call it, nub it to my finger. I liked it. Overall, I have it as a box split. I think it's a solid entry into the set.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a great cigar.
Yeah,
I wish I could find my original review of that cigar. I don't know if I reviewed it when I smoked the original. I must have.
I was looking on Stogie Geeks. I
couldn't see it. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what happened to that one.
But you did talk about
the newer one. Yeah.
Yeah, in episode 117, you did talk about the newer one. Yeah. I don't have a baseline to go against that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it's a great smoke.
It really is. I mean, that Avo sampler, if you're an Avo fan, and by the way, we are going to have the brand manager for Avo on June 18th.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
So I went digging in my humidor, and I found these Partagas Benji Menendez. This is the Toro Sighs. So this is the second release of the Partagas Benji Menendez Master Series. The original release coming out somewhere around 2010-ish, in a smaller, almost like Lonsdale-ish size, maybe. You remember that release, Will?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Those were like awesome. When they first came out, dude, they were Oasis. They were Oasis.
I think it's like a 6x44, 46.
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is a special cigar.
Now, those didn't age very well. Those kind of aged out, unfortunately. And they're still good, the original ones. When the Toro came out, I remember trying to compare it to the original one. It just didn't hold up, so I wanted to see how these did with age. First third of this cigar is pretty amazing, actually. Very, very smooth, creamy, extremely flavorful. And then as it smokes, I mean, it's good. Nothing to write home about. I think I rated it a 5.
I kind of would agree with you on that.
Yeah, I'd like the second release of that Master Series. Just never. I guess my expectations were so high from when the original one came out. They just never really did it for me in that same way the original one is. So kind of interesting. Still a fantastic blend. You should still smoke them. And the cellophane was really yellow on this too. They're aging. I think they're aging well. I almost want to put the rest away for another couple of years and then revisit, see what it does.
I'd be curious of that too.
I think it still has a lot of aging left in it, so I'm glad I revisited it.
Yeah, they came out a couple years ago. I haven't smoked it, but they came out with a Robusto line extension to that, but I just never got my hands on it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they added to that in 2003. It was funny because Derek Matthews, who's one of our listeners out of TJ's Lounge in Texas, was asking me a couple questions. How was I able to tell if it was a 2012 or 13 release? I told him I couldn't. There was no way to identify it, unfortunately, other than I only know the Robusto came out in 2013.
Right. Cool. Back to you, Will.
This is my smoke of the week. It's another Avo, and it's I guess you can call it, easily call it the Avo Limited Edition 2015. That's not really the name of it. It's called the Avo Classic Covers 2015. And it's part of a new line called the Avo Limited Edition Improvisation Series.
What an awesome looking cigar too.
That wrapper is just an absolute beautiful wrapper. It's that Ecuadorian 702 Davidoff wrapper that they use on a lot of their premium lines there, which I just love. Now, they changed up. They've made a major change to the Avo Limited Edition. So it's kind of like if you look at that Avo Greatest Hits. It was kind of closing a chapter. Those were cigars they always would release on Avo's birthday. With the change in the brand, they're kind of changing the direction, and they've decided for this year, they're going to launch it under this umbrella Improvisation Series. And what they're essentially doing is they're making an analogy to music. They're covering a blend, kind of like you cover a song. When you cover a song, you take some core components, but you change it up sometimes quite a bit, So, taking that analogy, what they essentially did with this cigar is they took the Dominican fillers of that cigar, and they kind of started with that as a base. They added in some of that Ometepe tobacco we talked about from Nicaragua. First time they've ever put Nicaraguan tobacco in an Avo.
Wow.
First time, so they haven't done that. It has the 702 wrapper I just talked about and a Mexican San Andres binder, and they put it in a 6x50 Toro. I tell you, fantastic cigar. It's got a mix of. It's got a nice chocolate note to it. It's got a little bit of a creamy orange flavor up front, but it's going to stay very creamy. You'll get some of those grassy herbal notes in the as it goes along. So it's very Avo-ish. It's amped up for an Avo. I'll tell you that straight up. This cigar actually is by the end of this cigar, it's a full strength, full bodied cigar. So it's for an Avo, it's the Avo LE10 was probably the strongest one I've had. The 11's a strong one. I think I'd put this as the next notch beyond those two. But it's a really good cigar. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen over time with this cigar, if it does mellow a bit. But I think when I said I mentioned they covered a blend, I didn't really mention what the blend they covered was. It's the Avo Classic blend. So they took those Dominican fillers that are in the Avo Classic. This tasted nothing like an Avo Classic, though.
Interesting.
I can't draw any
parallels.
Totally different cigars. But, Paul, I definitely recommend you get your hands on it. If I get some more hands on, I'll get it to you. It's a box-worthy cigar. I think you'll like it. It's definitely a different spin on the Avo brand.
I can't wait to try these, Will. I'm going to go seek some out.
Yep.
That rounds it out for me. I think it rounds it out for you too, Will, right?
It does.
And I have a fantastic question and a fantastic...
I didn't have one. I was like...
Yeah, I have a prize pack. I got the prize. I got the question. We got Smoke Naked T-shirt to give away, which we do on every show. So for a Smoke Naked T-shirt and a line sampler from Saga Cigars,
Oh, nice.
which includes multiple sizes of the Golden Age, multiple sizes of the blend number 7. I'll even throw in, I'll tell you what, I'll sweeten the pot because I love this question, because I planted this answer to this question in the show purposely so that I could ask it at the end. And you should probably know where I'm going with this, Will. So I'm also going to throw in a Saga Cigars t-shirt and a Saga Cigars hat.
Wow.
Now, if you haven't seen what those look like, they're actually sitting on the shelf right there.
I haven't seen them either.
You haven't seen these? These are really cool. It was interesting. I had some visitors in the studio over the weekend, and I gave him one because he wants to get more into cigars. So you get one of the hats too, Frank. They're in the back, right where you got the t-shirts. No, right there where you got the t-shirts. Yeah, same spot where you got the t-shirts, right there. Yeah. So this is a Saga Cigars t-shirt. They're cool. They're black.
Oh, I like them.
Very nice. This one says blend number 7 on the back. So you're going to get one of those. You're going to get a Smoke Naked t-shirt. You're going to get a Saga Cigars hat, dude. Check out. I'm going to put this with the other camera, Nick. And this hat is really cool. Like, look at the embroidery they did on this hat. It's just nice gold and black. It's really nice.
So they're getting 2 t-shirts, a hat, and the sampler. 2
t-shirts, a hat, a Saga Cigars line sampler. If you can answer the question and email the correct answer to the show at StogieGeeks.com, what is the name of Robert Caldwell's dog?
Oh, great question.
I asked him that question just so I could make it the question at the end to give all that stuff away.
Great question.
So send us the name of Robert Caldwell's dog. We'll send you a Saga Cigars hat, Saga Cigars t-shirt, Saga Cigars line sampler of cigars, which I think there's 5 or 6 cigars in that. There's quite a few cigars in there, as well as a Stogie Geek Smoke Naked t-shirt. Send us the correct answer to the show at StogieGeeks.com. What is the name of Robert Caldwell's dog?
That was a great interview, by the way.
That was a lot of fun.
It was.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect next.
No. We have a previous interview with Robert Caldwell, if you go back.
Yes.
And compare the two. They're just
yeah, 2 totally different.
Two totally different interviews, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, who we got next week?
We have a doubleheader next week again. We have John Louis Michel from Saga Cigars, and Brian Chinook's going to rejoin us from Chinook Cellars.
And I also think we're going to do a little. What time are the interviews scheduled for next week?
Good question.
Is it 9?
We could make it 9.
Or is it 8:30? Yeah, all right. So we're going to try and bring on someone from Oliva, John, actually, from Oliva, who's been on the show before. Hopefully we'll be here. I think they're doing an Oliva event. I want to say they're doing an Oliva event. Todd mentioned to me in passing. I'm going to try and bring on Oliva cigars as well. So it's going to be a fully packed show next week. Make sure you tune in.
Yeah.
That does it for this episode of the Stogie Geeks. Thanks, everyone, for listening and watching. We'll see everyone next week on the Stogie Geek Show.